Hey, welcome back everybody. Evil's Comics, Evil Mike here, and I got some reviews for you. These are from new comics that were released on September 8th, 2021. I got 4 books for you, and I have maybe another small review with just 2 books left. I know I'm a little late, but I kind of did this on purpose. I'm going to be late on my new comic book pickup days. I've already been informed it's due to the weather. We're getting hurricane weather here down in Houston, so it's kind of the norm. But hopefully all the books will be ready by Thursday. They might show up Wednesday, but whenever they do, I have a box, so they should be all there. So let's get into it. First off, we got from DC Comics. Actually, all these are DC Comics. I've already done all the Marvel and the Indies. So DC Comics Black Label, we got a big one for everybody. Nice House on the Lake, issue number 4. I'm actually at a medium state. Everybody freaks out about this book, and to me, honestly, I'm half-half. I want to say with this issue, it moved up a little past half, but and I'll go into like the reasons why it's half-half. For one, there's nothing new about the story. It's a story that I've heard like, maybe like 5 or 6 times. I could compare it to other stories and you'd be like, oh yeah. But that's not the point. That happens all the time. 2, I'm not a huge fan of the abstract art. I love it sometimes, but the parts I really need it, I'm not a big fan of it. It seems like the parts that I really want explained, the art is very abstract, and it might be for a reason. But, okay, with that being said, this issue, it jumped up a bunch. It started answering some bigger questions. It also kind of opened up the door to other possibilities, and that's what I'm into. Now, with all that being said, this is a 12-issue series, so the way I see it, I really can't judge it until the end. It's very hard to judge a book from the first or second book, especially when you know there's going to be 12 books into it. So, regardless, I'm in. Once I picked up number 1, I'm in. I don't do that where I buy number 1s and then I stop. I continue. So in this issue, it's all about the comedian, which you can see the symbol on the book, and I think that's how the rest of the story is going to go. Is each issue we're going to get a different, maybe perspective or story from that that exclusive member. With there being 12 issues, and I think there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So maybe 2 issues of regular story, like 1 and 12, and the rest are about all these cast members, which 2, 3, 4 have been. We are being told the story this time from the comedian. He says that he's been in the background, like, kind of like looking into stuff, checking into stuff. It's not completely about the comedian, but we get some, like a story, and I do love this part. He tells a story about like he can remember like this time that he was with Walter, and he remembers this story so vividly, but for some reason he cannot remember one of his friends that were there. He remembers Walter like super vividly, but as you can tell, there's a woman that is actually like telling parts of the story. And the reason I loved it is because if you look at the art, her face is kind of distorted. I like that example. Like you can see it right here and here and here. I did like that example. That to me that is a great use of abstract art. There are some other things that the comedian gets into about, that we learn, like right here, about their shopping needs. It was kind of stated before that the house just kind of replenishes itself, and now we kind of learn that it's not exactly like that. They have to make like a shopping list of stuff they need, and then in the morning, supposedly it just appeared. They've actually tried to, kind of like Santa Claus, they've actually tried to wait out and see who brings it, but it's almost like magical. The second they turn around, it's there. We've seen stuff like that in the story already, so it's part of Walter's stuff. But they do show some like shopping list, starting from the different days that they kind of figured that out. And it's just basically like food items and stuff like that, but it does play a bigger part into the story later on. They're kind of like fast forwarding to the story because like right here it says like day 27. But it really entails like 2 different characters, not just the comedian, but he is the main part. But we also catch up with this girl, not bad with names, but she has been trying to order stuff too, and for some reason Walter is denying all of her requests. The other members of the household kind of mentioned like, hey, maybe you should like make it more specific, you know, kind of like if you were wishing on a genie, it would have to be super specific. You couldn't just be like, oh, I want to be rich. Well, I mean, rich with what, you know? Rich with kindness, rich with love, rich with, and it's kind of something like that where they kind of point like, hey, maybe, you know, if you're asking for this, you need to, you know, word it specifically. And she's even gone into the whole specifics of the, you know, how detailed she's gotten it, and it's still not working, that Walter is specifically denying her these things. They do get back into the comedian where he's kind of like all around the place and still telling like a little bit of his story. He does run into one of the other guys and finds out that the other guy has been, you know, like learning, you know, it was the guy from the previous issue, and he's been like mapping out. He found the other house on the property. And the comedian kind of finds that. The comedian does finally like run into the woman who does who's asking for the specific items, and you know, it's kind of like the mail run, and every day she checks, and sure enough, it's not there. We do get to see some of her specific, you know, with this list and how specific she worded it, and I love you know, like for instance, they got really weird with it, like a suit covered in exclamation points, you know, a monkey costume, a cowboy hat. They started like asking for stuff to see, like, you know, out of the realm of possibilities what they could get, you know. But there's some other really weird requests, and it kind of makes a lot of sense. I mean, I personally, when they started talking about this, I kind of personally started you know, thinking about things that I would be asking for, and it wouldn't be like a pound of ground beef, you know, of course food and all that good stuff, but then it would be like testing the boundaries of that. But you just see, this is her list, and it's like day 8, she wants, you know, I think it's her husband, but he, you know, at first it's like Cam, day 9, Cameron, day 10, Cameron Michael Ryans, day 11, you know, she wants her husband, and she's trying to like word it differently, and then after she doesn't get her husband, eventually she starts asking for razors and guns, you know, she wants to commit suicide. We do see that the comedian does receive a razor, and it pays, you know, plays a point coming forward. We do learn that Walter is specifically stopping him, and that he is aware of some of the things going on. They show him here after delivering. They kind of, you know, some of the members are extremely mad at Walter because they feel like he is entrapping them. He didn't, you know, give them the option of dying at the end of the world kind of thing. At the very end of the story, the comedian kind of pops up, and he kind of confronts the whole house, and kind of talking about, you know, how they do know each other, and that, but they don't know each other, and, you know, how certain people in the house have been investigating, but they're not like kind of telling each other about it. You know, a lot of stuff about what they've been finding out. But eventually during this time, the comedian went to the woman and gave her the straight razor, and told her that before, you know, because he knows why she wants the straight razor, he knows why Walter is denying it, but at the same time, he kind of already tried something. So he takes her and tells her that, hey, I need you to see this before you make up that decision to go ahead and do what you're going to do, and trust me, it's going to change your mind. So he does go in front of the whole, it's not just the girl that he shows this to, he shows it to the whole house because he really believes that they all need to see. And he does use the straight razor, and he slits his throat in front of everybody. And they do learn something brand new about the house, that no matter how they try to escape the house, they cannot die. It seems that with Walter knowing this was why all those items were denied, because it wouldn't produce a result. You know, I mean, she would have tried to cut her throat or wrist, and it just would have been to no avail. Same thing with the gun. With this issue specifically, it painted like 2 or 3 bigger pictures for me, like that some people would just be okay with it. That, I mean, a lot of people, I think personally, I mean, do not do well with cages. We know that. So, you know, to write a story like this and have like a couple different characters just outright be okay with it, come on, you know, there's going to be those people that fight that. But nonetheless, it was a very good issue. The last issue and this issue had been picking up steam which is a little unfortunate because I heard there's going to be a break in between. I'm not sure, but I'm still on board for the story. Next up, we got a very good book, Batman number 112, officially the second issue in the Fear State titlement. We already have like kind of two tie-ins with the Catwoman and the free comic day edition. If you did get the free comic day edition, all this basically was the preview to this issue. So if you did happen to read that, just skip forward a couple pages and you will get to this page right here. Basically everything that I just skipped was Batman being drugged by Scarecrow, him escaping and him believing that he was out of the reach of Scarecrow, and we all know that that is not the case, that Scarecrow is using a new hallucinogenative mixed with like lights and different technology, more like a Mad Hatter thing. Scarecrow is in his head now, it's not just a toxin that's in his blood. We jump back over to Simon Saint, who is pumping out fake reels and fake, media coverage, trying to say that everything is okay, reestablishing the magistrate and the peacemakers, at the same time knowing that Peacemaker 1 is running amok on the streets because he has been infected with the fear toxin as well. They show him right here behind the scenes that he is increasingly freaking out, and because for one, they do not know where Mahoney is, Peacemaker 1, Sean Mahoney. They show Sean right here, and exactly like Saint Simon, or Simon Saint, whatever his name is, Saint Industries, where they thought, he was going to go crazy with all this $1 million, armor and stuff, and sure enough, because he is affected by this fear toxin, he starts unloading on innocent people in public. And they show right here in the past page that he was seeing demons and all this crazy stuff, so he thinks he's saving Gotham, and at the same time he's out there killing innocent people. We do see that Batman has finally made it to the clock tower, still being affected, to the point where the current Batgirl, Cassandra Cain, has snuck up on Batman, and Batman is bewildered by the fact that Batgirl was able to sneak up on him. Inside we have Spoiler and the Oracle at the moment. She is just reeling off that somebody had broken into her software, and now she is having to run on a background program because someone has already destroyed her main Oracle program, trying to kill her and the clock tower, basically cutting her off from helping Batman and his Bat family during the Fear State event. They do catch up with Batman and everything that he went through, and Oracle catches him up to everything that happened. And eventually he starts talking to, Ghostmaker, who is currently with Harley Quinn and the Insanity Collective with Queen Ivy below Gotham City. Harley and Ghostmaker took the Insanity Collective down below, hopefully looking for sanctuary with Queen Ivy, and they found Queen Ivy to be a completely different person. Queen Ivy is missing like a piece of her heart or soul. It is running amok in Alleytown with Catwoman, and while that piece of her soul is gone, it's like the human side of her. She has gone super tyrannical. Ghostmaker even makes a statement that at any time she could snap her fingers, and she is so dug under Gotham City, she has literally like wrapped all her plants around the foundation of Gotham, and just like that, with a snap, she could destroy the whole city. So they kind of are playing nice with Queen Ivy at the moment. Batman is not in the state of things to even go get involved with Queen Ivy at the moment, so he's just kind of leaving it up to Harvey and Ghostmaker at the time. Ghostmaker does tell Oracle and everybody else that he is going to need Ghostmaker's help. He needs somebody else because he is not in the current state, to be out there patrolling or helping. They do show that, a badass little gargoyle riding a scarecrow here is just showing that he's getting ready to take over Gotham on a whole different level. We see some more fake commercials with Simon Saint, and we find out what he was planning to do with the one of the kids he captured and has turned into Peacemaker X, which they have revealed to be on the next cover fighting Peacemaker 1. He will be set after, Sean Mahoney to bring him back, and it is stated that he wants him alive or dead. He doesn't care. He just wants the armor back. So we'll have to find out, what goes on with Peacemaker X and Peacemaker 1 with Batman thrown in there. Actually, I think it'll be Ghostmaker because Batman's kind of still messed up. We do have a side story from ClownHunter. And recently, if you read the Batman Secret Files, and you caught up with what Bao, the ClownHunter, is doing, he is still trying to, take out the clowns and get rid of them out of Gotham. We have seen that they have been moving around. Most of the clowns are with, I would say the good clowns are with Harley and their reformed criminal act thing that she has going. In the very beginning of the story, we see that for some reason, he tries to go up against Scarecrow. ClownHunter not officially in the Bat family currently. He does not know anything about any of the main supervillains besides Joker that is running around Gotham. So of course, when he runs into Scarecrow, he has no idea that he should not let him get close or touch him. And sure enough, Scarecrow does infect him with his new fear toxin thing, and basically throws Bao off the roof of a building. We cut over to a scene where Bao wakes up, and it looks like he has been saved and rescued from falling down off the building. Bao is kind of weirded out, like, oh my god, you saved me, and this and that. And the lady just tells him, like, oh my god, you don't remember me? I had to save you. And she's like, there was this day that you were in Gotham and you killed all these clowns and you saved my life. And he was like, yeah, but that didn't scare you about me? He was like, man, I killed all those people. And she was like, nope, I would have done the same thing. I would have got a bat. And he's like, well, he's like, I had to protect y'all. No. And she's like, well, I just hope you keep doing that until your bat breaks. And then guess what? I hope you get another bat and you keep on killing them clowns. And he starts to question this, and as sure as he does, this lady turns into a huge titan of a Joker henchman-looking person. At that point, Bao really starts questioning things because there is a word that keeps mentioning, but it has something to do with falling. And as we know, he has not completed the fall. He is being messed up by Scarecrow's fear toxin, and that whole memory or everything was probably like a second of his fall, and he is still falling. So to find out if Bao survives or who saves him or you're gonna have to stay tuned for the next episode. Alright, so we got a weird one, okay? So this is the first time I've ever had this happen, but in 1 week we had a single issue and we had an annual drop. For me, this is brand new. I don't know if this has ever happened before. I'm pretty sure it is a shipping error. And so I had no idea what to read first. And incidentally, I read the wrong issue first. It didn't really ruin anything, but there were some things that were kind of like, well, when did that happen? Oh, what happened in this comic? I was supposed to read this one first. All right, so Suicide Squad 2021 annual. We are with actually it starts off in a before scenes with Rick Flag and Waller and the past Suicide Squad that is before the more recent iteration, because we see some members that aren't there anymore, like Bronze Tiger and Deadshot. But they are all getting ready for a mission, jumping out of a plane. Randall Flagg is questioning Waller and her methods, basically telling him that, yeah, I agree with your methods, but at the same time, these are people kind of thing. And Amanda Waller has always been an ends to the mean kind of thing. Rick Flag does state at the end of that kind of flashback that if she does not change her ways, that they will have a reckoning, that he is, that even though he is a part of the Suicide Squad, he does still see every including member as a person and not just, some meat. They do jump into, they jump forward and back to, current state of things. And, of course, with Randall Flagg getting all big britches and Waller, just basically didn't approve of that and shocked his ass, put him in a cell and left him there to rot. Back in issue, I think, 4 of Suicide Squad, Red X was captured on purpose and broke into the found out where the Suicide Squad, you know, everything, their headquarters was held, and kind of wreaked havoc on everything while he was in there. We do jut over to another scene with, I think this is Waller, and the lady's name is just Rodriguez, the scientist, and she's the one who's developing this vibration tech, allowing all the Suicide Squad members to move from Earth to Earth. They basically state that they are having a problem on the field, and then we jump back into issue number 6, which at the very last issue we saw that this version of Superboy had just run into another version of Superboy. Now, that not being all too weird, especially with the cover revealing certain things, we all know that Superboy is a clone, and there have been many other clones. But we kind of find something more important in this issue. But they go through and they continue with the Suicide Squad mission. We have this is during the 6th issue, and it's basically Bloodsport and the rest of the members trying to catch the like Earth 3 version of Black Canary. She's an evil version. They had already captured her and are bringing her back, and that's when they got stopped by Superboy. Now they are being told to go inside this building where they are to recruit something that's inside the building that will help them with Superboy. When Superboy does show up, Waller does initiate this thing called the Castle Program and starts moving things around while they are on this mission. Of course, she is back on like Earth Prime, and they are on Earth 3. But basically we have a toe-to-toe with either the imposter or the real Superboy. It's an even match. Up until like a certain point in the fight, it goes back and back, and honestly, it was really hard to tell who was who. But the black Superboy is the new version Suicide Squad Superboy, and the other one is the regular real Superboy with the jacket, of course. The Suicide Squad make it into the facility, find out that it is, massively protected by these like killing androids, and they Suicide Squad do their deal. They go in there and wreck house. They allow Talon to run free because there is no people involved, so he gets to go crazy, kill, fun. We get back outside with Superboy beating Superboy, again kind of an even match type of thing, all the way up into this issue. Until this page, and we see both of them fighting. The real Superboy shooting his lasers, and the Suicide Squad Superboy, stating, "You missed," and the other Superboy stating, "Man, you almost had me fooled," until you realize that I didn't miss. And basically, a whole building comes crashing down on him, taking him out of the fight temporarily. Superboy stating that he doesn't know what's really going on, but as soon as he digs him out, he does, and it is revealed what is going on. It has been matched all along, and somehow Waller has been tricking or, confusing his DNA and his memories to make him believe that he is Match. As far as I know, Match is kind of like a bizarro version of Superman, but he is just the bizarro version of Superboy. And at this point, once he is revealed to be Match, he just goes full-on bizarro Superboy. Eventually, with the Suicide Squad, we see that they are kind of getting outmatched. Bloodsport is at that point where he is running out of weapons, and for some reason, his teleportation of other weapons is being stamped out, where he cannot retrieve any other weapons. They wake up this version of Black Canary. I think she's just called Black Siren in this world. But they do... wake her up and allow her to use her sonic scream, which takes out all the robots. And quickly after, she does that, and she's like, "Hey, guy," they knock her back out and get her on the plane. Basically, after Superboy wakes up, finds out that it's Match activates, and now he is in his full bizarro mode, and he really gives Superboy a run for his money. At this point, not only does Superboy not throw any punches because he realized that it is Match, and they are supposed to be good friends, like best friends. And they jumped through with what the castle program was, and because Superboy found out, what Waller was doing, she basically, destroys everything that she had going at Belle Reve and moves to another facility before Superboy and the cavalry can show up. It is stated here that there is something that they need to find to, put this version of Superboy match back in check, which they do eventually find, and it is determined by the group that they are not going to go that route, and they destroy the vial that Waller had them look for. We do see a butt tone of clones. And basically, as soon as they find the clones, Superboy kind of mentioning that he's going to go after Waller, the real Superboy, they teleport away. Waller calls them all back, and they end up at the new location of Task Force S that is somewhere hidden. There is a brief conversation between Rodriguez and Waller, stating, that she won't be used like the other Suicide Squad members, that she will be respected, or she's not going to work on any of the tech. They kind of state on, whether Match is finished in the Suicide Squad, and they're going to work on trying to get him back. At the very end of the issue, we catch up with Randall Flagg, and he is at a undiscovered location himself at a blacklisted prison for supervillains, and he is making his own Task Force X with different requirements to join. He basically goes down here, tells them that he has the perfect member to throw off Waller and her people, and it's basically Mirror Master from Flash's Rogues Gallery. We also find out that he has a spy inside Waller's current group, and it is revealed on the last page to be Talon. So we're going to find out about that. Now, directly after that, we got Suicide Squad 7, and this is basically right after the issue of that. I mean, it literally jumps right into it. It has, and this issue is completely funny because if you do not know who Ambush Bug is, he is basically this version of Deadpool. He breaks the fourth wall all the time. He kind of shows all these goofy things about his version of Superman and Batman, and I mean, basically, he has teleportation powers, and he has like and he can break the fourth. He can go to like different Earths, and he does know that he's stuck in a comic book, so his powers are a little different compared to everybody else's. He does reveal a whole bunch here to the Suicide Squad team, saying that Match is, the fake Superboy, that they basically revealing that they are in a comic book, what they're about to do, that they're about to go to hell to retrieve some stone. If you have been following DC at all, we know why they are going to hell to retrieve a stone. It is because the Stone of Eternia from Shazam's world is in hell. We also see that, other members of the Suicide Squad are doing things and actively getting ready. She does eventually send them all to hell using, Ambush Bug's power. Once they get there, they are supposed to find this stone, and that's the only thing they know once they are down there. Ambush Bug constantly like ruins, what is going to happen in the issue, basically what they're going to do. He even tells them that the next part of the mission that they are going to go to space to retrieve it. There is a lot of epic stuff in hell once they get down here. And basically they go down there like hopping around with Ambush Bug's power. I mean, not too much other than that. Basically, like, as they are down in hell, they kind of do this whole beat 'em up thing. At the very end, Match and Bloodsport stop, and they kind of have this conversation. And if you'll notice in some of the panels, a bunch of the members start kind of disappearing around them, and they're just so caught up in their conversation that they don't know what's going on. But as we see, I think it's a brand new group, but we have the Hell Squad, and it's basically a bunch of dead supervillains that are in hell, and they looking for their chance, and they took it, but they started taking out all the Suicide Squad members as they could. I do see some of the members. It looks like Sportsmaster, maybe, I have no idea. I'm not good with the I don't know, it could be a lot of people, but I think Sportsmaster is one of them. But I mean, overall, both issues were really good. They both complemented each other. This book was amazingly funny because of Ambush Bug, because he's breaking the fourth wall all times. His costume changes into the other superheroes. It's just, oh my god. But that's my reviews. I have some more coming. Like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. I will be with you soon. Bye, guys.